matches are going down here, the Nashville Predators and the Winnipeg Jets. And on the Eastern Conference side, the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Washington Capitals are, two of the, what people would say as Eastern and Western Conference final matches aside. That's where you would see them heading. But there's been a lot of high-scoring matches, high-scoring games in the second round, which, especially in the Jets and Preds, seems very unlikely, being that both their goalies are, Vezina Trophy nominations. I don't know what you guys' thoughts are, but it's just kind of crazy to see how their defense is, how high-scoring these games are.
Yeah, I kind of expected Winnipeg to be a high-scoring team just because they were in the season, right?
Yeah.
But Nashville, to be able to answer, they're scoring, just as many goals for the most part.
Yeah.
And, they've been able to answer.
Yeah.
So far, it's been a good series.
Well, both teams have, Vezina Trophy goalies, and both teams have really good defense. It's kind of crazy to see that of the first 3 games, they've gone 4 goals or more for both sides.
I thought first 2 games I watched, I thought Rene was kind of shaky. Wasn't himself.
Yeah, even in the first round, he wasn't on his top of his game. It didn't seem.
No, he was beatable. He looked beatable.
Yeah. For sure. But even Hellebuck's been Jets' quote-unquote best player. And he's been, I don't know.
Yeah, and like you said, even just going a series you didn't mention, but Boston, Tampa Bay. First game, Boston shellaxed them 6-2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I almost didn't see that coming. They did that to Toronto, and they did it to Tampa. And guess what line did it to them?
Yeah, in similar fashion. Yeah.
Bergeron and Pasternak line, once again.
In similar fashion to the first round.
You'd think Tampa would see that, or at least heard about it from the last series. Hey, pay attention to that line, because they're going to burn you.
Mm-hmm, definitely. Yeah, it just shows you. But, Tampa had a bounce-back game 2.
Yeah, Braden Point had 4 points.
Yeah.
And he was a minus...
He was minus 5, I believe. Yeah.
In game 1, so good bounce-back game for him, personally.
Mm-hmm. Sounded like the coach had confidence in his line for game 2.
He's a good player. I watched some of that game, and
it was kind of weird that first period. It seemed like it was all in Tampa Bay's favor. They got 1 goal, and they were out shooting him 13-0. And Boston hadn't gotten a shot on net until 4 minutes left in the first. But then they got a power play, and then I think they got 6 or 5 shots in the last 4 minutes, and then they ended up getting a tying goal. Wow, it's just crazy how that momentum swings.
Mm-hmm. It is crazy.
Yeah, Boston's got a good power play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the last series that again we didn't mention was the Golden Knights and the Sharks, and game 1 right out of the gate. I don't know if the Sharks weren't ready.
Yeah,
but
I didn't catch that game. I was busy, but it was 4-0 after the first.
Yeah,
I was like, "What is going on?"
Mm-hmm.
And it ended up being 7-0. But not gonna lie, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, it's
not like
crazy.
that.
Yeah,
playoffs you expect close games just because it's the playoffs, right? But there's been some blowouts this playoffs so far.
There's been quite a few overtimes in the second round already.
Yeah, for only being in both game 2, game 3.
Game 2 and 3 of the Knights and Sharks went both overtime.
Yeah, and Jets and
game 2 went to overtime.
Preds went to double overtime, right?
Yeah, which was a really good game.
Yeah, so. And it looked that way tonight. It was going that way, but another overtime. But Winnipeg won 7-4. So.
Well, and Alex Ovechkin with a minute left, too, to put that game.
That's who scored. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That was 3-2 Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I believe it was Ovechkin that scored with a minute and something left.
Niskanen tied it up, I seen, and then. But man, that's.
Yeah, these series are quite tight.
Well, they're all.
We both went 1-1. They both split the home games.
Yeah, 3 of them are 2-1, and 1 is 1-1 right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, there's obviously not going to be any sweeps because it can't happen now.
No,
but
but all these teams are, showing why they're there.
Which at this point, usually there shouldn't be any sweeps because
No, you would think, but
all the best teams should have moved on,
yeah, that's true.
right? So
Sweeps can happen any round, right?
yeah,
But I don't know. I mean, the Jets and the Predators are kind of heading into, tonight they lost 7-4, and the next game is in what they say is the worst building to play in as a road team in Winnipeg.
but I think if Jets win the next game, series might be over.
That would make it 3-1, yeah.
Wow, that means they got to win 3 in a row. Preds.
Yeah.
And Preds are a good team. Don't get me wrong, but it's tough for any team to come back from a 3-1 deficit.
Well, and Toronto learned that a little bit too last round.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
yeah.
it's Colorado tried to do it last round too, and it's almost an impossible task.
Yeah.
But moving away from the second round, as we talked last week, the Hart about our Hart nomination, our candidate. Well, the Hart nominations have officially come out, and one name was left off the list. That was Connor McDavid, and the nominations are actually Taylor Hall, Nathan MacKinnon, and somewhat of a surprise in my mind, Anze Kopitar.
Yeah.
I thought Claude Giroux almost is more worthy of being on there.
Yeah, and I would agree with Scott. I believe last week we talked about, we threw 4 or 5 players down. Not one of us said Kopitar. I know that for a fact because I seen that and I had to look twice. I'm like, what trophy are we?
Yeah, exactly.
And not taking away about Kopitar's year. I believe he had 90 points or close to 90
He had a
points.
career year, yeah.
Yeah, he had a really good year. Like, you got to think bounce back. He had 11 goals last year.
Yeah.
And this year, I'm not sure goal-wise, but like I said, he had close to 90 or just under 90 points. So,
I mean, when you look at it most valuable to his team, you see how his play took his team this year.
yeah, him and Dustin Brown seemed to carry the team. Jeff Carter would have, but he was hurt. But
Well, maybe that's another thing that maybe they're looking at, too. He picked his game up when one of their players went down. I don't know. The other two, to me, make complete sense, and they're pretty black and white.
I mean, I don't think Kopitar will beat McKinnon or Hall. I think Hall's got it, but I think McKinnon's a close number 2.
Yeah.
And that's no offense to Kopitar, but that's just how I see it. But
Yeah, that's true. I'm looking at the numbers, I can agree with you the way he's played, his points per game, his point streaks that lifted his team into the playoffs, and the fact that he was consistent literally the 82, he didn't play 82, but for the entire duration of the regular season, whereas McKinnon had ebbs and flows and, high points and low points of the year. It seemed like, Hall was more, a more consistent player throughout the year for his team. But, but McDavid did get nominated for the Ted Lindsay Award, and along with Hall and McKinnon, I can see him winning that one.
yeah, I think that award's voted by the
NHLPA, I believe.
yeah.
Yep.
So, but that's, McDavid led the league in points. He's a very good chance of winning it. But
Yeah, that's true.
that one could be a close one too. At the end, it depends what they're
Yeah, it depends.
looking at too, right?
Who's voting and what they're voting on and what their mindset is for sure. Another thing that was revealed was the lottery draft, and
That was revealed, I believe. Some of it was before the Vegas Sharks game and in the intermission, and
first year it's been a 2-parter.
yeah, it was kind of
It was
different.
weird.
to draw views to the game probably,
Yeah.
or that, or to get views on the lottery, something anyhow. But
But it was live this time.
the balls were live this time.
Yes, right?
I actually didn't watch it.
No, I didn't watch it.
I know
either,
there
to be
was
honest.
a behind the scenes thing that showed you the process. I didn't look into it too much, but I mean, the top 15, or I'll just read them off here. Florida, the Flyers via St. Louis, Dallas, and one that kind of took me by surprise. The New York Islanders have pick number 12 from Calgary, and they also have pick number 11, which is their own. I wonder what their mindset will be for they have 2 in a row, so either they can package them and maybe trade for a player, or trade up in the draft. I don't know.
I don't know if it's 100%, but there's 2 Swedish twins coming. So maybe they're right there, hey?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know if that's this year or next year, but I have heard a rumor there's 2 Swedish twins that could get drafted. And I hope they go.
That's pretty neat.
I hope they go to the. It's like.
What are the chances?
2 retire and 2 come back.
Yeah, it's kind of neat.
Pretty sure there is, but I have to look into it, but that'd be pretty cool.
And that's rounding up the 15 there. And top 10, number 10, Edmonton. 9, the Rangers. Chicago with number 8. Vancouver 7. Detroit 6. Arizona 5th in the top 4 here. Ottawa got 4. Montreal's 3. Carolina number 2. And number 1, Buffalo Sabres.
I'm just going to say something. This is probably the highest I've seen Chicago in a long time.
Mm-hmm. And Montreal, too.
No, Montreal was Galchenyuk.
Yeah.
That was the same year Toronto was. Toronto picked.
Kadri. No. Riley? Nylander? Marner?
Man, it might have been Luke picked Shannon already for crying out loud.
That's what I mean. They aren't there that much. They're only there 1 year. Usually it's get some results or get going.
Yeah, no.
I mean, obviously Carey Price before that, which was a big one. Maybe they can.
But Carey Price was first round. I don't think he was in the top though.
No, but I thought he was 10th overall. Maybe not.
But not that high though. That's third though, right? There's a difference.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think they were third when they picked Galchenyuk. To be honest,
sounds accurate for sure. Kind of crazy that. Calgary traded their pick away, but in the top 10, Edmonton, Vancouver, Ottawa, Montreal, 5 out of the 7 teams are picking in the first round out of Canada here. It's kind of
Canadian representation.
It's good for the Canadian team to get high picks, but that also shows that they didn't have that good of a season, right?
Exactly. I mean, last year was Vancouver's year to get the pick, but they have that Elias Peterson.
When did they end up getting 7?
7. But they have that Elias Peterson, who in the SHL won Rookie of the Year,
and they have
Forward
another guy
of the
too.
Year.
Another guy too, Dahlin.
And
another Dahlin, different.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
Yeah, he got an award too.
Only have Besser and Horvat, and like I said, Peterson, who once won a bunch of awards in the SHL. And
sorry, Scott, go ahead.
Carolina was the team that won. Like the most odds of jumping up.
Yeah, because Carolina wasn't that bad to be second.
No, but the Oilers fell down one spot too. They were projected to be 9th.
Oh, okay. Because that could be right. I think it could be right here. I think this is the highest Buffalo's ever picked.
Well,
because Eichel's 2.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, I don't know. No. I think Gilbert Perreault was number 1.
Back in the
70s. But in my lifetime, I think this is the highest.
In the modern era, yeah.
Yeah, that Buffalo's picked. That I can remember.
And they kind of need this. They have the scoring power up front. They have Ryan O'Reilly. They have Eichel. They have...
It's weird, but they probably should be a little bit better than they were.
They should be. Yeah. Well, they have Robin Lehner, too. And look at if they get this boost in the back end.
But they got Ristolainen.
Yeah.
They got some guys.
That'd be a pretty good pairing.
Oh,
Ristolainen and Dahlin.
And let's be honest, Dahlin's playing next year, probably.
Yeah.
If you're a franchise defenseman or whatever they want to call him,
yeah,
you usually jump right in.
Yeah, depends.
Even guys that have
played
over in Europe, though.
That could be different.
When the Lightning got Hedman, didn't he? He didn't jump right in right away, did he?
Not that I recall. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
And he was what, first or second?
He was second
the
behind
2 defensemen I can.
Tavares.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. The 2 that I recall were Luke Shen and Drew Doughty. They were 18. They come right out of the
PK Subban. He played the Montreal playoffs that year. Then he made his jump. He didn't play the season, but he